What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Friends with Words podcast. I'd like to introduce my first guest for episode 1, Mr. Sam fucking Ike. How we doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
What's up?
I'm good. I like how you said fucking, because like normally my mother, she says it like way nicer.
Nice, yeah.
It's way softer.
She's a sweet lady, but she's very vulgar.
Yeah.
She gets the point across. So. How you been, though?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Tired, but mostly because I had a long trip this weekend, but also because I spent like all night on Twitter trying to catch up on like NBA trades. Like I missed the whole weekend, and like so.
What are you doing out in New York?
I was doing a couple shows with some friends. I was at the Del Close Marathon, and then I also got to like see a bunch of friends I haven't seen in a while, and then get to hang out in New York for a few days. And then like I also had like the day off the day before,
Nice.
And so I just like I went out with friends, and I missed the entire NBA draft. So like that was like a big thing.
You want to know what happened in the NBA draft? A bunch of young black kids are going to be millionaires overnight, and then it's all going to be gone in 2 years.
Yeah. I had a tweet like a year or two ago when I saw I saw the NFL draft, and it was I was just on Twitter, and I saw someone tweeted today a man named Clinton Dix just became a millionaire.
Anything can happen, man. Totally anything can happen, man. But no, it's just crazy. Those leagues, like, they don't teach those kids anything. Like, it's modern day slavery, kind of, when you think about it.
College is weird.
That's
college
even worse,
is strange
yeah.
Because college, they make so much money for these schools. They build this university in huge, magnificent ways, and they don't see anything of it. Now, they get an education, but most of them are, like, half in class, Like, I remember when I was in college, there was like a couple guys on the football team that were on my team, and like they were in my class, and I saw them maybe like twice a month, and it was clear that they were behind in the class, and not just in the work week to week, just like in general behind in the class. And it was like I feel bad because if someone doesn't break from that, there's just skill sets that they're not allowed to use, or at least given like more access to. It's a weird thing. It's interesting.
Well, the thing is, like, they don't teach them. They say that we're going to teach them something,
yeah,
and they're definitely not going to teach them. We're going to teach them how to put a ball in a hoop.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they've been doing that for years. Like, I'm from Connecticut, and UConn, all we do is we just make basketball players.
Yeah.
That's all we do, and they just show how we don't go to class, and they have people doing their papers. And then when shit hits the fan, like, coaches get blamed. But everyone knows what's happening. It's a business.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't come here to learn anything.
Did you live near UConn?
Yeah, I mean, Connecticut's so small, everyone lived near UConn. If you pretty much like a third of your graduating high school minimum will go to UConn. Right. That's just what it is. Wow. But I mean, it's just a basketball player factory.
I went to a party in UConn years ago. I forgot all about this, and
they can party though.
Yeah,
that's probably why you forgot.
It was it was massive. I was like maybe 18.
Was it spring weekend? Was it in April, right? Or?
It was. Ooh, I don't remember. It might have been in April. It could have been in October. It was either in the. I think it was in the fall.
Yeah.
And it was huge, and like I'd never been to like a massive party, and I remember it's because me and my friends, we got high and we saw like Harold and Kumar, and we were like, well, we got nothing to do. Let's drive to White Castle. And we drove to New York City, stoned on, and I did that 3 times. Like, there's like a 2-year period in my life where I did that 3 times.
And you weren't disappointed because you know White Castle tastes like shit.
Yeah, all 3 times I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But like, I eventually went somewhere else that I liked eating. But like, we would just go and hang out in New York, and like,
the hubris of youth.
But yeah, I stopped at a party in UConn, and it was the first time I ever had like gummy alcohol, like gummy bears, and I just saw a tub of them in water, and I was like, "Who soaked these gummy bears?" And they were like, "No, it's got like vodka in it and stuff." And then I ate like 5 of them.
It was a long ass night.
Yeah, it was a long night. It was, dude. That was fun. I forgot about that. I always want to. I know I'm too old now, but like I badly want to just go to a college party just once, just
Well, you can just go. They don't check ID. I mean, you live in Boston, Massachusetts. Like Sam, if you want to go, you can go.
I feel like I'd just be that creepy, weird old guy in the corner. Like,
I mean, you don't have to be in the corner. You can go talk amongst everybody else.
I can be creepy in the middle.
You can be creepy in the middle. You can be creepy on the side. I mean, this is America, man. Be all you can be.
PhD student or something. See who would believe that.
But no, man, it's been crazy. What's it called? How long have you been doing comedy yourself?
Oh man, about like 7 years. Like I started doing improv like 6 years ago.
Yeah. All in Boston?
All in Boston, and I was in a sketch group for like 2-3 years. We performed pretty regularly together, and then I started doing stand up like really more like 4 years ago. When I first started doing improv, I would go do like one stand up set every like 4 months because it would like totally terrify me. And then, but yeah, now like I think I've been doing more regularly like 4 years, something like that.
What do you think you like better?
I don't know, man. I feel like they both like. I don't think it. I never think of it as a better. Like I was just at this the Del Close marathon, and like that, it's so inspiring to watch. Like comedy is just comedy, you know. Like it all inspires it all, and it all informs it all. And I like doing both. I don't think I would ever quit either. But I mean, right now I do more stand up than I do improv, but I still love doing improv.
Yeah. Do you think that you have a better chance? I mean, obviously just because of numbers, but you feel like you have a better chance of kind of making something happen in stand-up over improv? Because as you think about, you have a team in improv, you always got to stay together, where stand-up, you know, you can kind of just go where you want to go, work more independently. I
don't know. I think it's, I never think about it in those terms. Like, for me, it's always, like, what feels better. Like, I just go with whatever thing I like the most at the, or whatever project is interesting me. Like I get the convenience is if I can do stand up. I can do stand up like every night. It sometimes can be a little bit more difficult to do that with improv. But like improv's like more like it's fun team building, and I like doing that. I really love doing both. I can't foresee a reason why I would ever not do either.
Yeah.
And sketch is really fun. I would say sketch is like kind of like the cool in between. Yeah. Because like you get to write jokes, and then you also get to work with a team.
Definitely.
And so like that I find like very fulfilling in the right situations.
Yeah. I feel like this is like this other podcast stuff. This is kind of like my medium in the middle, because like I kind of do like to work alone, but it's also like I said, we were saying before, off camera before. It's like you got to have content. Like everyone expects you to constantly just give you something. People don't realize like we have day jobs.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just be writing all this stuff for you for free and putting it out there. Like we got to do something else. But this is kind of looking like my new kind of medium, where it's one of those things. I just want to like pick people's brains, you know, see what's going on with them.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I definitely love. Yeah, I like doing podcasts. I like having conversation. It's fun. Conversation is good. Sam Ike hitting the important topics of the day.
Exactly. Hard hitting. If you guys want to learn some shit.
Yeah, making some great points.
Exactly. And it's good to just do it. Like I like that fact that we just get it going, because you know a lot of people, they'll be online. They always have like announcements and stuff. It's like, oh, I have a big announcement coming up. I'm gonna have, and they make an announcement to have an announcement. Like I'm gonna have this podcast. Like no, like just no one just does things anymore. Like, just do it. You know, don't announce what you're gonna do. Just go out and do it. You know.
Oh yeah, that's been one of my favorite things. I love making things.
Yeah.
That's like it's just like I love the creation of a thing. Like, you know, the excitement of making a new bit, like in stand up, is like by far my favorite aspect of stand up. Like it's just like,
because it's all you, right? Like you're kind of like the parent. You work with other people, and things are kind of random, but like you are kind of, you birthed this whole thing.
Right. Yeah. I love watching I like the process. I love the process of like trying it out, reworking it. Like that excites me a lot. That's my favorite thing about stand up, is just working on new stuff. And that's what's great about improv as well, is that like every single minute or whatever, like every second you are creating something new right there, and that's like it's a very special moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just get, what do you get most of your material from, you think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like consuming story helps. Like I watch a shit ton of movies, a lot of like I listen to I watch like a lot of TV and stuff like that. Like I feel like that's always helped. But I think life helps more.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been trying. It's hard, but it's like I try to do stuff that's not comedy related.
Yeah.
Like I'm making an effort to do that, but that's super hard.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the hardest thing about like being like working on comedy is just like trying to not make your life about it.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to do normal shit so you can kind of get material where, oh, this is what normal people do. Here's my perspective. Whereas you're just off doing something fucking ridiculous that you do, and it's like I can't relate to that shit at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's so hard. Like, man, there's been so many times where I will deliberately try to hang out with non-comedy friends just to be like, oh man, how did like regular people talk?
Like, how do you deal with this?
Yeah, exactly.
And people always have those things like they think that we're kind of crazy because it's just like, how do you go up on stage and do this by yourself? And I'm just like, how do you live that boring life every day? Like, how do you do that? That's more of seems more hard to me.
Doing comedy, that's like actually getting up there on stage. I feel like that's the easy part.
But it takes time, though. You admit that. I mean, when you first, like, what was, like, I mean, I like to ask a lot of comics, like, what was your first, comedy experience? Even though you've been on stage before, what was your first, like, stand-up comedy experience like?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I feel like it was, like, a string of things. Like, it's, like, it exists as, like, this moment, right? Like, there were, like, a series of things where I felt more and more, like, connected to it, I guess, or whatnot. But... yeah, I mean, I feel like just actually doing comedy, that to anybody who wants to do comedy, that's the easy part, right? It's like, oh, I want to do this, so you can just go do it.
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing about it, is like, almost every night I get to see someone I never seen before, or see them do something that they never done before. That's so exciting.
Exactly. Well, I think a lot of times, like myself, I try to get like a lot of my material from just like what's happening in the news and. Because everyone kind of just stays on that. Like, we have like a constant media cycle.
Right.
So there's always something happening. I almost feel like sometimes things can get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Wait, how do you... Is there any particular story that you found interesting recently?
It's not really a story, but right now I'm thinking it's kind of like this phenomenon I'm kind of on right now. I'm trying to work on a bit for it, but it's like, what is our constant fascination with treating animals like people? Like when they fuck, like people are like they're treating animals like they're people. Like the alligator killed the baby. We're doing like DNA tests to find the alligator. What were its motives? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like it's just an animal. Like it caught it caught the baby slipping.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not like it's gonna. And like even if they catch it, it's not gonna be like all the alligators are talking like, yo, they caught Jerry. Fucking, we better stop eating babies now. It's like they're making it like a manhunt and trying to find, even like the gorilla too. They're just like, like, why did it do this? I don't know. Maybe because you put it in a cage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't belong here. It's like, the people we're trying to put animals in the situation of humans. Like they don't think like this at all.
Yeah. They got one motivation, and it is to get food.
Yeah, it's eat or die. That's their plan.
You get in their way of eating.
Yeah, like it wasn't like a racist alligator. Like, oh, that's a white baby, so I better get him. They don't care.
The alligator doesn't care.
Yeah,
it's not meat.
That's all it really is. And so people like nowadays, like something will happen with an animal, and we just try and spin this story to make it, like us. Like I have an issue with these people, so this animal's going through my plate. which couldn't be further from the truth. But I just think it's so strange. We're just kind of, we're taking.
Did you ever have pets? Did you have pets?
I didn't personally have a pet, but my grandparents had a dog, so I'm a big fan of dogs. Cats, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't
do cats.
I had pets when I was a little kid. But I also have like allergies, and like and it's one thing, like I just never, I don't know, I never had that that love that people have for their pets, I just never. It's something I kind of envy. I just never had that. Like, I find them very cute. I like them. If I'm around them for a little bit, it's like, oh, that's nice. But then, like, I never had that appreciation that people.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you live with it or you're close with it, they are. I mean, I can only speak to dogs. I can't talk about anything else. But I mean, they're the one animal. I mean, humans, we kind of just get along. We've been around for so long, we can understand each other. But no, once you have an animal or a pet for a long time, you're just close to it. It knows you. There is kind of that kind of human bond. But I'm talking about random animals. When they fuck shit up, I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. No. You know? I hear you, man. I just, I never had, like, a long-term pet before. And I really envy people who like, when I hear about a, like, a woman who's, like or some rich, crazy person, right? Yeah. And they inherit millions and millions of dollars, and they give it to their pet when they die. Like, I am like, man, I wish I loved anything to that much. Even if I was dead, I'd still be like, no. Someone has to go through, like, someone has to go, like, there needs to be an obstacle course. Like, I don't care. Like, even my own kids will have to go through some shit just to get my inheritance. Exactly. You got to go do something. You got to go file something, or you guys stand in line
get
for a while.
Get an award, get some kind of documentation that I'm a person, that I'm doing something with my life. But no, we're going to give it to Fluffy because, they're really cute. But no, people do have a connection. But I was just straightly talking about, it's like, you know what? Like, animals, they're just going to do their own thing. Like, I know, some people go to Thailand, they take pictures of those giant, like, tamed tigers. Like, I would never do that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's not, it may be tamed, it may be, under control, it could be drugged up. If it's just playing, that thing swipes at me, it's going to break my neck.
Exactly.
Without even trying.
Exactly.
Without even trying. It's having a good time.
Yeah. It's the same reason why I didn't mess with heights.
Heights?
Like, I just flew on a plane for the first time in, like, 2 weeks. For the first time in, like, 12 years.
You have a fear of heights?
I have huge fear of heights.
Yeah.
It's petrified.
It's a common thing, though. It is a common thing. You shouldn't be up there.
We shouldn't be up in a plane. There's no reason why a plane should exist. I still don't understand how that works.
It is fucking ridiculous when you think of something that heavy. How that thing can just fly.
And it's going really fast. And it's way up there. And there's no reason for that to be happening. Absolutely no reason.
But it is. But it's so crazy that it is a very common fear.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, it is by far the safest way to travel. It's pretty insane, but it is statistically the safest way to travel.
It was also nuts. This is proof that I haven't been on a plane in 12 years. I was amazed for a good 5-7 hours after it happened that I went from Boston, Massachusetts to San Francisco in like 5-6 hours. Yeah. That amazed me. I was like, whoa, we did that? Dude, like, how is not everybody amazed by this? Because this shouldn't work.
And we take it for granted, too.
Yeah.
People get pissed, like, what the fuck? I gotta stop in Indiana. Like, people get pissed. It's like, no, like, what you're doing, I think Louis has a bit about that. He's just like, people complain about the littlest things. Like, I had to wait on the tarmac for 45 minutes. It's like, and then you got in a plane in a chair in the sky.
Yeah, you were in a chair in the sky.
Flew there.
Yeah, that's so true, man.
Yeah. It is fucking amazing when you think about it, though.
It is insane. And I watched a movie. Up there. Like, that still wowed me. Like, I was
guys, if you don't know, Sam Ike is 12 years old. Yeah. He has not been anywhere. The world is still amazing right now. He's gonna learn that it's a terrible place pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so wide-eyed and optimistic. Like, everybody gets along with everybody, right?
Yeah.
The police are kind.
Racism doesn't exist at all. The Chinese use it to keep us back. Speaking of the Chinese, election year, dude, what is happening in this country right now?
Man, this is...
Like, we're pretty young, we haven't voted that long, but it was never like this.
Right. This is wild. Like, I mean, there's one person that's making it so insane. But the thing that is wild about like that is just like the amount of people that feel the same sentiment. Like that's what's wild. Like I thought like, I don't know. I really thought that Trump could be like a 15% candidate at most. Like there were maybe 15% of the country that would be full-heartedly like to me Trump is like kind of like Sarah Palin. Like, it's like that kind of, or like Rush Limbaugh, like that kind of conservative that like really whacked, like kind of like conservative that's not really coherent in what they're saying. Like that kind of conservative.
But he is, I give it to him because he's a con artist. Like he's, like Sarah Palin was just random thoughts all over the place. He has random thoughts, but he knows how to kind of get people together. He knows kind of how to prey on people who aren't that intelligent and try and push an agenda, where Sarah Palin was just like, I don't know what's happening at all.
So you find it all deliberate?
I find, so what it is what were they saying before? He's, in the past 30 years, he's been sued like 3,500 times. He just does shady deals, and he's been very good at making shady deals and coming up. And so in that aspect, he's a genius. He knows how to kind of he sees what kind of your fears or your insecurities are, and he knows how to turn them against you. So he's intelligent in that aspect. But as far as what's happening with the world, he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's one of the things, he's just preying on the fears of people, and he understands how to push that button.
Yeah.
And what's the reason he's gotten so far is most other politicians are like, well, you know, I can't say this crazy shit because I got to be a senator when it's over, win or lose, where he's like, fuck it, I'm doing nothing right now.
Right.
I can kind of say whatever I want. I don't have an election to win next year, so I'm just going to go for it. But yeah, you're right. It is scary because he's kind of showing a population of how people feel. And that's the more, I'm not really worried about him. I'm worried about the people who appreciate him. That's more of the issue. He can say whatever he wants to say, but the fact that it's a reflection of a large amount of people, that's more frightening to me.
That's what's scary about it, man. It's like, that is what's us. And like, I see what you're saying, but like for me, I really do feel like so much of it is just pure ignorance. Like, because like it's like you said, right? Like, this is a man who's not a politician.
Mm-hmm.
He has nothing that he would lose from losing this election besides embarrassment, which would hurt him a lot.
But it's still, he's selling shit.
Yeah. And
more people will like him, whether he loses or not. He'll have more customers.
So because of that, he doesn't have the intelligence of how a politician should work, because at least most, even like Obama was still like in politics for at least 6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, he was a senator for 2, but he at least was involved in that field.
He's a process. Yeah, he understands how that works.
He was a lawyer for a while. Like, he understood how the process worked. So, like, to me, like, Trump is like a slightly like, it's like, to me, it's like like if the guy who owned Papa John's like wanted to run for president.
Papa J.
Yeah, like he would run a campaign that would be like Trump's. It would just be dumber because it's Papa John's. Like, Trump has at least had success, you know?
Yeah.
So like, but he's just insane. Like,
yeah. But the thing is, I don't think he's insane at all. I think he knows exactly. Because I've heard people say who've met him before, he's really measured and intelligent. But he realizes, okay, this is a game, and I can bend this rule.
But isn't that crazy to think that you can use the American government as a game? You can use the United States of America as a game.
We're not smart. Have you been in this country that long? Like,
but I believe I'm way more optimistic that like at least like, so I don't know. It's just like, I think people are inherently smarter and better than this. like I believe in that enough, and I think there's enough. But I do think that there are people who there are things that they feel passionate about that he is relying on, but he's doing it out of like out of pure ignorance and
But he knows who he's talking to. That's the thing. Is like he knows the people, and the problem with that is the people who are ignorant, don't know what's going on. They show up and vote. Yeah. That's the craziest thing about it. Because when you think about it, like, you know, most people in the Northeast, like, they're passionate about shit, but they don't really care. Like they pretend they care to make them seem like they feel important, or, you know, they're standing on a pedestal. Whereas people who hate people, they really hate people, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to kind of get what they want. Yeah. And so we're in the Northeast. We're kind of just we're busy with what we want to do. We're on our Instagram taking pictures of our food and shit. Like, we want to sound righteous, but we're not really righteous. But people who don't have much and who are pissed off, they're going to show up and vote because they got nothing else going on. So I might as well.
And that works the other way, right? Like, the other thing that's so fascinating to me about like the Trump campaign is, like, can a candidate win the United States presidency with predominantly white people? Like, can that actually happen? Because I can't imagine that the Trump minority, like, Mitt Romney's wasn't even as small as Trump's would be. Like,
I really don't think. I knew he could make it this far, but I think when it comes to general election time, I don't think there's enough people who are that pissed off. Yeah, I really don't think he has the numbers. I mean, they're out there, but there's just too many people he's alienated. So I think in the end, Hillary's going to win, just out of numbers. Right. But
I full-heartedly believe it. Like, and this is me being the optimist in the ideal scenario. I really think that he's going to go like white. I think it's going to be 60-40, 60-35, 65-35.
Could probably happen, though. I mean,
I think it really could happen.
But I think at the end, I hope it just brings change to the fact where we realize that the way we do things is kind of it's just fucked up. We need to have more than two parties, because when you only have two options, that just makes shit so tribal.
Yeah, but it's also problematic on us, because, like, dude, you could make up what the Libertarian or the Green Party stands for, and I would have no idea. Mm-hmm. I would have no idea, and that's on me. Like, I should know that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I should at least, if I care to, I should at least try to know that. You know, I mean, if for the most part, I think most of the things that the Democratic Party stands for, I'm pretty much with. You know, but, like, again, there are Republican stances that I don't see as wrong.
Well, there's nowhere in the middle. The issue, like I said before, it's tribal, where the fact of it's just gotten to this point where you're either this or you're that, and there's nowhere in between anymore. You can't kind of share any other person's point of view. That's the problem.
It's that's polarizing, you know? Yeah. That's the polarizing nature of it. There's no middle, because, like, they just can't, because people just cannot do it. You know, they just won't.
Well, I think that's life too. Whereas when something happens, like, think about it now. When something happens, no one can see a person for two things. Like Bill Cosby, right? Fucking terrible person, fucking monster. Yeah, great comedian though.
Yeah, and
you can't see him for both though.
Not even great, like, even beyond great comedian, a man who employed so many African Americans in a long tenure. A man who set a bar, right? Yeah. For African Americans. At the same time, a complete monster. Mm-hmm. Right? Those two things exist, you know?
But like, we can't see nowadays. You can't see someone as both. Right. They're either one or the other.
It's the same thing as if, like, you look at, like, a guy like Thomas Jefferson, a man who helped build a nation on ideas and principles that were based in freedom, a man who really, really helped so many people and created something that we all take for granted now. And at the same exact time, participated in the biggest atrocity to the country. Yep. You know, like those two things both exist, and that's what makes, you know, America and life just so amazing and so fascinating. It's like those two things can exist in the same thing.
But I feel like as comedians, we're the only ones who can kind of see both parallels. Like, we can if we had to, we can argue both sides of something and show the humor in both, where most people, they don't know how to see both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Like even like O.J. Simpson, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Horrible murderer. Great fucking running back, though.
Great running back.
Great running back.
Great running back.
Yeah.
Great running back. And this is more because O.J. was made an example of, but like got to make Johnny Cochran like on the national map, you know? Like that's what's so I love these kinds of stories and angles. They're so fascinating, you know?
But
so
we understand that, but most people are just like, you're either this or you're that. You can't be both.
It's hard. It's weird. But like also I feel like we just live more in a society where people feel like they have to, if they make their case, they have to make their case so strongly on one side, because it like if they don't do that, then they are like people are so scared of being controversial. I feel like we just like,
whereas we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We'll say whatever.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson, you either did it or you didn't do it. You know? His music's that good.
Yeah.
That good.
Yeah.
Damn good. You know?
What's your favorite MJ? What's your favorite MJ?
Damn, that's a tough fucking
All right,
question.
give me three. Give me 3 or 4.
3, probably Rock With You.
Ooh.
Human Nature.
Whoa, okay. Okay.
Rock With You, Human Nature, and probably what's one of his upbeat kind of songs? It's between Thriller or what was that, 3 right there?
Yeah.
Might have to go to the top. But yeah, it's Rock With You, Human Nature, Thriller. What's the one where he fucking leans forward in that shit?
Oh, Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah,
Smooth Criminal's fucking dope.
Oh man, that is a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'll find a 5 later, but I mean, yeah. But it's one of the things like that's the greatest entertainer of all time.
Those are some interesting answers. I would not have pegged your first one off the top of your head to be Rock With You. I did not think you were going to say Rock With You first off the top of your head.
Shit's smooth, man.
Yeah, it
fucking
is.
Smooth,
It's
dude.
so good.
It's so
good.
Man.
It's so good. And like the video, he's just like, man, it's just him one shot.
Yeah.
Man, my favorite one shot videos, that one and D'Angelo. Just the rain coming. That dude was like, I'm naked and I don't give a fuck.
No.
I'm going to be naked.
Well, when you're famous, you don't give a fuck at all. And then because that's another thing people don't understand, like regular people, they don't understand when you're famous, you can kind of just do whatever you want. You know?
I guess I think it's more of like the individual decides to do whatever they want, right?
No, but I mean, like once you get like think of, and people don't even realize like search this later. Search Michael Jordan like wardrobe. Like look how Michael Jordan dresses. He dresses terribly.
Yeah.
This man dresses terribly, but no one cares. Why? Because I'm the greatest basketball player of all time.
But wouldn't he?
He doesn't have to.
But my look at it is that he would have done that naturally. He just didn't have the resources to be as like that's what it. I feel like it's more resources than anything. Like there are so many things that I don't do only because I can't do it multiple times.
But other people they do things out of the fact of, or I don't. Like the problem with Kanye West is like he is a genius and that's the problem. He's like, you know what, I'm so great I can say ridiculous shit and I'll still be famous.
Yeah.
You know? I'm so good at what I do.
Yeah.
Anybody else, if we say ridiculous shit like that, no, it's over.
Right. But I still feel like my thing is I feel like 20-year-old Kanye was still doing that. Like, he was still doing it. He just didn't have like
it was measured. It was crazy shit, but it was measured crazy shit.
And
He's
it
like,
got bigger but it was always inside him.
Yeah.
It was always inside him.
But the things he's saying now, he couldn't say it back then. But he's like, okay, now I can take this step.
Yeah.
Then I can go this step further. Then I can go this step further. But yeah, it's all, no matter how good you are, the bigger it gets, the crazier shit you can do. Because we're just like, well, you know what? He's talented. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. Everybody. MJ, come on now.
Yeah.
Who else? If tomorrow you look like Michael Jackson, be like, I'm not listening to that stand-up album. I'm not going to that show. That motherfucker's weird. You better get some HBO specials under your belt before you do that. If you look like Sam, if you look like Michael Jackson tomorrow, it would be a very different show.
Well, dude, I've been working out this thing looking like Urkel, and it still hasn't worked. Again, to me, MJ might be a step up.
Yeah, I mean Urkel's good, but Urkel's not that level. But I'm saying if you get really, really fucking talented, you'd be surprised what you can get away with.
Yeah.
People don't even get it. Even what was that name? The football player shot himself. Plexico Burress. Remember he shot himself?
Oh yeah.
So people were like, they were confused. They were just like, because he had the handgun in his sweatpants. And he showed up to the club, and people were like, why is he wearing sweatpants if he's going to the club? Like, he's a fucking Super Bowl champion. He doesn't have the same rules.
That was the aspect people wanted to talk about.
No, I know. I knew people personally who were just like, wait a minute, he's going to the club? How come he's wearing sweatpants? And it's like, because he doesn't have to wear a suit. He doesn't go up to the club and like, no, Plexico, you can't get in with that outfit. It's like, no, when you're famous, you can carry a gun in your sweatpants at a club.
I absolutely love the fact that people were upset because of the sweatpants.
No, people didn't get it. It's like normally you have a nicer outfit at the club. You know, you wouldn't have a handgun. Handgun can't fit in a nice suit. But he had sweatpants like, yo, I'm going to go to the club real quick, hang out.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put my safety on. But yeah, because people just don't get it. And it's like when you're famous, you don't play by these rules. You have your own kind of rules. You go to your own kind of weird parties, and you're kind of just in this bubble.
Have you ever gotten to see a celebrity like do something weird in passing?
Oh, just do whatever they want. I met Derek Jeter.
You met Derek Jeter? What was that like?
He was so it was so funny. This was back. This was 2004. This was right before the Red Sox came back. This was like the final. It was like the final series. Yeah, they were. The Yankees were in town for the final series of the season before the playoffs started, and I was a freshman or so. Yeah, I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in college, and we were at a club, and I see this dude maybe like 15, 20 feet away from me. He's like wearing a suit, and this is back when like Jeter had the fucking flat top, and I was like, what the fuck is this dude wearing a suit? Because we're all like 19, 20-year-olds or whatever, and I'm like, who is this dude? I'm looking closer and closer. I'm like, that's not Derek Jeter. I'm like, that's fucking Derek Jeter, 15, 20 feet away from me. And then he was with Bernie Williams, and whoever owned the club, they pulled it to the side, and they got their own like kind of VIP area, and they got their own velvet rope, and pretty much girls would just line up to meet them or whatever, and things like that. And so I'm actually a Yankees fan, and so before we left, we were just like, we just shook their hands and just said, hey, nice to meet you, good luck this weekend. It was one of the things like just passing, but I mean, they literally just had their own kind of just a lineup. And this is 2004, back before the Red Sox won. So that shows how famous he was. He went to enemy territory, went to a club, and just had girls just line up. And we were just like, hey, you know, good luck this weekend. Peace. We're out of here. So we didn't really have any kind of conversation. It was just like, oh, shit, that's Derek Jeter.
I've read, like, so many, like, crazy stories of, like Derek Jeter just, like, hooking up. Like, man, he seemed like he...
no, he's the man, dude. I mean, you're the man and the biggest... Yeah, that's the biggest franchise of all time.
The most beloved Yankee since, I don't know, what, Jackson?
Yeah, he's top... I mean, people might say he's top 3, but he's at least top 5.
Yeah.
He's at least top 5. People might put him top 3.
You got Ruth, Mantle,
DiMaggio,
Jackson,
and him. He's probably top. He's in that 5 right there.
And then, probably him.
But some people might say, because you know how things are current, people might put him top 3 just because people don't really look too much in the past. But I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I think most people, when it comes to the Yankees, because baseball's just so based in tradition, I feel like you did like 5,
But when you think of that, and then you add the fact of New York City, which is just it's one thing to be a man somewhere. If you're the man in New York City, it's like, what can't you do? I'm pretty sure he can eat. If he wanted to eat free for the rest of the year, just show up. I'm pretty sure he gets free meals wherever he goes.
Oh yeah, he gets every. He's Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
I have this theory. That part of now Jay-Z, obviously one of the best rappers alive, releases all these crazy great albums in New York City, builds his empire. I feel like part of what made Jay-Z king of New York was that the only other option was Derek Jeter. Like, I didn't feel like it was Jay-Z, and it was Derek
In his
Jeter.
profession, or just like you have to be the king of New York?
Or just people that were popular in New York, right?
Yeah.
There were TV personalities, obviously, and stuff, but like, there's Jay-Z, there's Giuliani, there's like Derek Jeter, like there was no Carmelo, you know, and there was no Carmelo in New York at that point.
No Joe Namath.
There was no Namath, like the Jets and like the Jets, even the Giants. Like, I mean, like Eli came a little bit later, but even Eli never achieved that. Like, that
Yeah, New York
status.
really wasn't. Yeah, in the mid '90s, New York for sports or anything, no one was really killing it. In New York, Frank Sinatra was gone. Like, there was no one was really killing it in New York until Derek Jeter.
Killing were the Jeter
And Jay,
it was the Yankees, and then like the Rangers had a couple nice runs, but like, I mean, like Gretzky obviously, but like late '90s, early 2000s, it was all about Giuliani, Jeter, and Jay-Z.
And you can kind of take Giuliani off that list too.
If
it wasn't for 9/11, no one would give a fuck about Giuliani.
Yeah, exactly, right.
But yeah, it is true though. No one really was hitting in New York during that time.
And then I guess like, yeah, exactly. And hitting in New York as a New Yorker, right?
Yeah.
Like, there were a bunch of people on TV that were huge in New York. But like, in terms of like actual New Yorkers, it seems like Jay-Z and Jeter were like, those were the guys.
True, yeah. But speaking of New York, what's it called? SNL. You recently worked with Tim Meadows. I saw recently.
Oh yeah, that was
what was that like?
A while ago. It was really fun. It was really fun.
You guys don't know who Tim Meadows is? He's a cast member of SNL. He played the ladies' man, and so. But no, what kind of show was that like? What was going on with that?
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. We were doing. It was an improv show. It's this format called the Armando, which Meadows was like a part of a very like high profile. You know, he was doing great improv years ago, and one of the formats that his groups would do was the Armando. So it was nice to do that with him. And yeah, he was awesome, man. So the way that format works out is he will give a monologue based off a suggestion, and then the improvisers do a series of scenes based off of that monologue. And yeah, it was just super fun. It was great. It was
nice. You just get chopped up after, or is he kind of just like, fuck y'all, I'm out of here?
No, I got to hang out for a little bit, but I had a show right after that, so I actually had to run really quickly. But yeah, it was awesome. It was
Nice. Yeah, you think? I mean, yeah, it's so funny. Like SNL is like an institution, but like it really hasn't been hitting for a while. Like those cast members, like they're good, but there's really no more like memorable cast members on there anymore.
Oh, that's interesting. I feel like it's always, to me, it's always been good, but it's always been to me like the mecca of sketch.
Yeah.
So like I've always loved it.
Who do you think's the best on it right now?
Oh man, I think they all do like phenomenal things individually and differently. Like it's also one of those things where I feel like most people also see SNL in these eras, and like sometimes they're building a new era, and I feel like people don't see the building. You know, like I remember when I was in like 8th grade or something, or 7th grade or whatever, and people were. They were like, I was reading all these, because I used to read all these, like, any entertainment, like, TV show, movie, magazine I could read, I would read. And I remember reading one where they were just, it was like, I think it was Entertainment Weekly, and they were rating SNL, and they gave SNL an F. And in one of the little parts in the article, in the review, was, like, talking about how, like, a new cast member, Will Ferrell, is incredibly annoying. And I feel like, you know, it's in those moments people want to see things in certain ways, but like I do feel like at the end of the day, you'll be able to look back and history will kind of like say it.
I only base it on the fact of I'm just looking back to the fact where I remember back when SNL, when you were on there, and I'd say 50% of the cast would become a movie star after, whereas now I look at the landscape now, and I don't think you don't really see most of those people being like movie stars, with the exception of McKinnon's good.
Right.
McKinnon's good, but I mean, like you look, back in the day when like 50% of the cast would definitely get into movies, and most of them would kind of be hitting. Where now is I don't see anyone on there like coming out with a movie, or even trying. I mean, Sandberg's the only one really coming out with movies, and they're really kind of okay.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like most of those, but all of them will come out like even greater comedians. You know, like.
Comics are fine.
Maybe those movies would come in and out, but like also it's like I feel like the way it seems like the way the comedy system works out is just it's so much different now.
This is true, though.
You know, like it used to be in that kind of like mode where you would see them, but like now you see them like break out in different ventures and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, like what we're doing right now did not exist.
This is true.
So like stuff like that, I feel like everyone kind of finds where they're supposed to be eventually.
And like stand-up specials and like social media and like Netflix and streaming things. I mean, there's way more outlets now, where back then I kind of think, SNL might have been, once you're on here, you're good. Where nowadays you can kind of just make your own path. Right. In so many ways.
Yeah, but what's still amazing about it, right, is that like those meccas still exist, right? Like SNL is still the crowning achievement and still the most like amazing thing. Like to me, watching that TV, I've always said this. I think that the two greatest TV shows ever made are Saturday Night Live and The Wire. And I think for two different reasons. One was an epic story that showcased people's lives in just these incredible ways that you never got to see, and they talked about things, huge issues and small issues at the same time, and it was so compelling and raw. And the other one
was The Wire. That's right. But I just feel like it's one of those things where like white people need to gloat. It's like, have you seen The Wire? Like, there's terrible things happening in our city. Like, but no, it is an amazing show though. It is completely.
I binge watched that in a week and a half.
You watched it in a week and a half?
I used to work at Blockbuster.
Oh gosh.
And it was like in the summer. I was working at Blockbuster, and they used to give you like so many free rentals, and like you got like something like 10 a week, 10 free rentals.
Oh, well, I think you could just take them too, but I mean, it's just who could keep track of that many videos?
yeah. Oh, they took track. It wasn't like a good system, but they kept track.
You better rewind those tapes.
Yeah, exactly.
You can take it out. You better rewind that shit.
Yeah, and I started watching The Wire, and I would like all I would do, I would go to work, and then I would go maybe drink with friends, and then I would just like watch The Wire.
Well, I mean, you were one of the few people who could binge watch. Now binge watching is just a normal thing, where you were privileged, where you had the ability to binge watch.
You know what's funny? I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Never thought of it. I was.
You had the opportunity to be unproductive before everyone else could be. You were unproductive for hours before it was a fashionable thing.
That's gonna be my new bio.
Yeah.
Unproductive before
before it was cool to be unproductive.
Before it was cool.
No, I can't do more than I can't. Even the best shows, I can't watch more than 3 hours of something because I just feel like I'm a waste of life. I mean, maybe if it's a storm or something and you're kind of just stuck inside, but I can't watch 3 hours of something. I just feel like I need to be outside. I need to be doing something else with my time. But no, I mean, getting that ability to, because like now that's kind of how things are now. We watch things in giant chunks, and I feel like sometimes it takes away from the show. Yeah. Because like nowadays, if you watch a good show, it's good to have that week off where you can talk about it with your friends and stuff and break it down. Where now it's just kind of just like, here it is, go run with it. You finish it whenever, and there's really no talk. It's just you just consume it, and it's kind of just gone. You don't really appreciate it as much as you would.
I miss that aspect so much.
Yeah.
I completely miss being able to like talk. I remember like even like The Walking Dead when that first started. Like at least there was like a brief moment before it was really like there was so many like podcasts about it, and there was like so much to it. Like I feel like there was at least a moment where you got to like talk about it and stuff like that with people, and like I got to do that with Mad Men in its first season. That was nice, but like now it's just like and it's also part of just being a little bit more busy now. It's just like if I am gonna watch a TV show, I'm probably gonna watch 5 episodes in a row. Like there have been times where there was like a new show, and I like could have watched the first episode like the day of or the day after or something like that, and I didn't because I was like, oh, I'll just wait till the 6, you know, and then I'll watch.
I mean, to be honest though, like TV is better than movies now. People used to shit on TV. But like all the great actors are going back to TV because it's better. Where I feel like the movies are just filled with politics and they're just making things to sell stuff. Like I feel like TV is just like where you can be the most creative, put out a good show. Where movies are like, oh, we got to make this movie. It's got to hit all these markets. It's got to sell. Where TV, you can kind of just really be creative and make something good.
That's gonna be, I mean, I see what you're saying. I do feel like the best movie though, like the best movie of the year, is still better than the best TV show of the year. I feel like most of the time it is.
True, but they're few and far between.
And movies give you an experience where, like, I mean, I saw Star Wars Force Awakens. I don't really know much about Star Wars and stuff like that, but I saw that, like, midnight showing, night of, and that experience, there's no TV show that can give you that experience. Maybe the Super Bowl, like that live experience where people see it. Like, that was incredible to be a part of.
I just feel by the numbers, though. I mean, the problem with the movie industry is it's just we make movies to sell, whereas I mean it's the same thing with TV shows.
Don't get me wrong.
But the way they make TV shows, they're kind of like movies.
Yeah,
they're pretty epic.
Oh yeah,
most TV shows are they're almost probably directed by people who make movies. Like they're well done.
Like like. For like there are so many TV shows that could be an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, and there are a few movies that can be an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. Like now, that for sure, absolutely.
Well, I think the problem is they want to sell it. Like for instance, like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Why are those movies PG-13?
Right.
Those movies need to be rated R because that's a dark kind of theme, and if you want to get the most out of like a dark kind of themed kind of premise, you make it R, but you don't do that. You make it PG-13 because you want to sell it to the most amount of people. You want the most people to see it, and it's more about making money than telling a great story. And that's what the politics. I mean, whereas nowadays most TV shows are pretty much you can do whatever you want. Netflix, HBO, you can kind of do whatever you want, and so you can make the story exactly how it should be. Whereas the movies, I feel by the numbers, it is an experience, but it's a business.
Oh yeah,
it's all about making money.
And I mean, but when it does squeak through and there's a great movie, that movie is just like so much more powerful than that TV show.
You can knock it out the park. You can definitely crush it. Yeah.
I mean, besides The Wire, I can't think of another TV show that's better than Goodfellas.
Better than Goodfellas?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my favorite movie of all time.
That's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single TV show besides The Wire that could match up to Goodfellas.
Ever? I'm trying to think right now. Best TV show?
A drama.
A drama?
Yeah. Because like, to me, Saturday Night Live is the greatest, like, that's the most amazing thing, but like, yeah, I mean, I can't think of another TV show that, like, would ever match up to being as good as Goodfellas. Like, All in the Family was great. Cosby was great.
Yeah. Which still kind of...
I never saw Sopranos.
You like that, actually. That's actually pretty dope. I think you'll like that, though. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I watched... Boardwalk Empire. Because some people make it.
Yeah, was that good?
Scorsese.
I didn't see Boardwalk.
No, the thing is, the same people make it. I think you'll like that.
Yeah,
but,
I missed the boat on Boardwalk. I missed the boat on. You know what I missed? I missed Sopranos and I missed Breaking Bad. I missed Breaking Bad completely.
Fucked up, Sam Ike. You fucked up.
That's probably the big one that I missed. I caught everything else. I got on Mad Men. Game of Thrones, I'm kind of like in and out. I just don't get it. Like,
it's good, but it's time consuming. Whereas, no, get on after your show tonight later. Get on Breaking Bad, and you'll be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I gotta get on Breaking
Bad. After that, you'll get it. It's just it's different from The Wire. They're both good. It's more suspense based.
Yeah.
Really good writing and suspense based, but no, they're both good, but you need to hop up on that. But nah, man, what else are we gonna hit into? Actually, before we kind of just close this out, I try and like ask a few other questions at the end.
Sure.
But,
do you want me to answer them like rapid fire? Or?
Yeah, we can do this a little like a rapid fire kind of thing. What's called? Okay, who could you work with, or who would you want to work with, dead or alive?
Ooh, dead or alive?
Doesn't have to be comedy. Could be any kind of artist. Could be athlete. Could be actor. Dead or alive.
Dead or alive? I think.
We'll be here all night, by the way.
Yeah,
folks. We'll be here all night.
This is a crazy. This is a good question. If I could work with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
I'm a good fucking host, you guys.
Yeah, no, this is a great question. This is a really good question. Robert Townsend.
Robert Townsend?
Robert Townsend.
Any ideas why, or just like...
The movie that got me super into, I saw Hollywood Shuffle when I was a kid. My uncle showed it to me, and I thought it was the funniest thing I ever saw. And that, like, got me excited about comedy and about, like... Because I used to watch a bunch of movies, and that was a movie about movies.
Yeah.
And I mean, about a whole lot of other things, especially. But it was a movie about movies, and it was about the black experience, and, like that mesh was just, like, that was crazy inspiring to me. I think Robert Townsend would be it. It would be, like, Robert Townsend, and then Mace. The rapper Mace. That song feels so good. That was my favorite song as a kid.
We always have the 1 and 1A. Who's the backup? So Mace, you're on deck.
Yeah.
Second question: favorite adult beverage, favorite drink. You got one drink, you got to drink. Desert Island, you got one more drink.
Desert Island.
Last drink, alcoholic drink. What's their...
Desert Island, because it's warm and it's my favorite. It's my favorite drink in the summer. I would probably go with like a light, like orangey type beer.
Orange type beer.
Yeah, like not necessarily Blue Moon, but like something in that range. Maybe like a Sam Adams. Like that type of beer is my favorite. But if I'm at an open bar, the drink I would get is like a rum and coke. If
I ain't paying for this shit, man, we getting fucking Cavarcia.
Oh yeah.
I'm
getting like a rum and coke like every time. That's the drink I always get at an open bar. I like it. I don't even drink soda that much. Yeah. But I like rum and coke.
And lastly, last question. If you had $1 million right now, what is your first purchase? Don't say invest in stocks, anything. What is your first purchase? You got $1 million in the bank right now. You can get whatever you want. What is the first thing you buy?
I'd buy my mother a house.
Cha-ching. Happy Mother's Day. Did a good job, Miss Ike. Lastly, before we get out of here, Sam, where are you going to be, and how can we follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at the Sam Ike. The Sam Ike. You can follow me on Twitter on that, and you can check out. Yeah, check me out on Twitter, and I'll send a bunch of stuff to you.
Follow me on Twitter,
not too much. I don't tweet that much, but yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for coming through, guys. This is the Friends with Words podcast. Thanks for coming out, guys. Peace and love.